What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back. Ollie, how you doing, bro?
Good. So,
It's been a great, it's been a decent week for me. I've had a fight. The fight, uh, I told you guys that I lost. I actually lost, and it was overturned to a no contest. I'll explain it to you later a bit. But Ollie, how was your day? What'd you do today?
nothing. Actually, yeah, I did. I went to the dentist.
Dude, I hate fucking dentists, bro. I fucking hate
That's it.
dentists.
My mouth is so sore right now, but I'm alright. I just.
So you feel how I felt like 2 days ago when my mouth was like this big. It was swollen up pretty bad from the fight.
Uh,
I hate I hate dentists, bro. They're fucking douchebags. They feel like because they got a fancy job, they're the best. I mean, dude, I know this dentist. He's a fucking dumbass. I went there. I was like five. I was like 7 years old, and I had a bad tooth like right about here. And I was like, pull it. He wasn't gonna pull it. My mom was like, pull this tooth. He wasn't gonna pull it. It was like, it's okay. It's just gonna fall out by itself. I'm like, dude, I'm in pain. I'm feeling pain. Just give me something at least for the pain. And he was like, no. And I had this tooth that was about to fall. You know, when you were 7 years old, your teeth start to fall. You know what I mean, right? And he was pulling out the teeth that he wasn't supposed to. But he let this teeth. It was so bad that I felt so much pain. From that day, I hated dentists. I fucking hate every single one of them. There's, I know a good dentist, but I fucking hate the guy. I don't know for no reason. I just hate dentists, and they're just fucking full of themselves. You know. I mean, but hey, they gotta do what they gotta do. I mean, this is their job, but they don't have to be fucking assholes every time. So
right.
yeah, we had great fights. The banger that was a UFC Vegas 41. We get to that in a second, but I talked about my fight. Did you have any questions about my fight?
Nah, just like I know how it went because you told me.
I mean, let me explain it. Cause listen, that day, Friday, everyone, the judges, the referees, the officials, they were on fire, Ollie. They were on fire. Let me tell you, there was a kickboxing match that day between two like 10-year-olds, 10 to 12, like young kids, really young. And they were punching each other. And the one kid, he slips on the floor. The other kid, he goes in for a ground and pound. He lands 5 shots before the referee stops him, before he separates them. Right? He landed 5 shots, 5 ground and pound shots before referee came in and stopped the action. It was like, whoa, whoa, stop. My fight, the first round, I was doing great. It wasn't like I thought it would be because fought in like I haven't fought since like December 2019. That's when I was planning to come back mid 2020, and the corona hit, and then I got fat. Now I went back. It was illegal underground fights. I was getting paid for it, but it was illegal. You know, if someone would have found out, I would be in a lot of trouble. Not even my parents know about it. Not even my coaches. I went in there with no cornerman. I would just go in there. I didn't fight the best competition. Like I didn't fight guys that have like 10 fights under the belts. I fought like guys like that are looking to make some quick money. You know, I didn't fight the best guys, but I went 7-0. I fought a couple of times throughout the year. I went 7-0. I made a quick amount of money. I spent it all. Uh, but, I was good. I was doing really great because I was fit. I was in shape. I was fast. My hands are powerful. I got the knockout power, but it was really fast. I was really fast. The head movement, it was there. The kicks was fast. Everything was fast. Then I got into a fight with my coach. But then we shook hands and it was cool. And I got into a motorcycle accident like 2 weeks later. I was banged up. I had a broken rib and I couldn't train. And when you don't train, when you can't train, what you do? You sit around and watch TV all the time because what you gotta do. I couldn't run because my leg was fucked up. I couldn't like do sit-ups. I couldn't do push-ups. My ribs were fucked up. I was injured pretty bad. I went back to the gym after a couple months. I was still in shape, but I got into a fight with my coach because I didn't tell him about the accident, and he was mad about it because I was absent. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't call. I didn't text. I did nothing. It was a problem from my side, but he didn't have to be a dick about it. And we got into a fight, and I left the gym. I didn't train for like that was after my fight. Then it was like early like January 2020, like January 1st. I left the gym. I got fat. I got out of shape. I went to a karate gym, a Kyokushin karate gym, and then
Oh,
Corona hit.
yes. Yes. Yeah.
What?
I just realised what's happening.
What's happening?
Bellator 270 in, in Dublin, my hometown.
You're going back to Dublin?
No, I'm not going there, sadly. Because
You,
that's the day before Colby Usman. I
oh,
can't.
that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
But
And do you know Leon Edwards' brother?
yeah, what was his name?
Fabio.
Uh, Fabio. Yeah,
Yeah,
Fabio
he's
Edwards.
fighting the Irish guy on the card.
Irish guy is gonna beat him, 100%.
I, I'm
Right?
I'm hoping because Fabio's coming off a loss to
Uh,
Oscar.
Paige's husband.
Yeah.
So
He,
let me finish this, and we'll get back to that.
we don't
Uh,
care.
yeah, shut the hell
Only
up.
joking.
I was telling you. I went to a Kyokushin karate gym. Kyokushin karate is like karate, but you hit the guy. Like in normal karate, you don't hit. You just show, and then you back up. And I did that for a couple of years. I got to an orange belt, I think, and then I left it. So I went to that Kyokushin karate gym. I went there, and the coronavirus hit. Right, but I was going to the gym. Like they would open up the gyms for like a week and they would close it again. So I was getting in shape, out of shape, in shape, out of shape, in shape, out of shape, and they closed it for like 2 months. But I got out of shape. I was like 260 pounds. I was fat. I was like really fat. Um, but the gyms, my dad knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy. They opened up a gym for me. I paid a shit ton of money, and I went in there and used the treadmills. I hit the bags, and I started to get in shape again. I lost 50 pounds in like 2 months. Lost about 50 pounds in 2 months. I was losing weight again until this my recent fight that happened this last Friday because I had to move up. I was around 206, then I had to move up to heavyweight. So that's that. So I was telling you. Then they opened up the gyms again, and I went back to the Kyokushin gym, and this guy was there, like who was a brown belt, and he was just a fucking douchebag. Like we would be sparring, right? We would sparring, and he was like hit me. The coach was like, "Don't hit him." He's like, he hasn't trained for like properly for like a year or so. Don't hit him that hard, or if you hit him hard, like do basic stuff. You hit him with a 1-2 leg kick. He comes back with a 1-2 leg kick. I want to start slow. My coach was telling me to start slow, and this guy was just a fucking asshole. He I left the gym because of this guy because I told him about my future. Said I want to be in the UFC, and he started laughing at me and made fun of me. I told a couple of friends, and they were like, "Leave the gym, leave this gym." Um, who just? Who just emailed me? I'll get to that in a second. Um, my friends were like, leave the gym. This, if you got a problem with the guys in the gym, just leave the gym. Go find another gym. I went to a kickboxing gym, uh, and the coaches they knew my dad. They were like friends, close friends. I go to the gym. I'm having fun. I'm hitting pads. I'm doing great. The coaches knew that I hadn't trained in like a year or so. So they're going slowly, slowly. And one day, guess what happens? Guess what happens?
Fracture.
No, no, no. That it's like mid 2020. Me and you, we haven't met yet.
I don't know
That
that.
guy, no, we haven't met yet. Like it was like before we met, like a month before we met. Um,
Oh,
this guy, the bully from the Kyokushin gym, he comes into the gym. He starts training with us. And I'm like, oh my God. But this time, this is a kickboxing gym. I can punch you in the fucking face, right? I can punch you in the face, and I can. I used, Kyokushin, you can't punch someone in the face. I did ninjutsu for a while. You didn't punch someone in the face. And that's one of my big weapons, I have to punch someone in the face. And I was like, dude, I gotta punch this guy in the face. When we spar, I'm just gonna punch this guy in the face so hard, I'm gonna knock him out. And what I found out about this guy, that he used to come in like in the morning, but then he changed and he started coming in the afternoon. That's when I train, in the afternoon. He comes in and he's like, the coaches knew he's like the pride and joy of the gym. After a couple months, I was really mad at this guy because he was running around making fun of me, doing all that shit. And I was like, "Hey, buddy, want to spar?" He was like, "Yeah, sure." He thought that he could beat me. We put our gears on, and the coach specifically he tells us, if you get hit, none of my fucking business. Get your fucking guard up. If you get hit, it's your own problem. And I was like, all right, let's do it. He comes in. I tricked him into thinking that I'm going for a low kick. He goes to kick it, and he had this bad thing when he goes to do something with his leg, his guard drops. And when his guard went down, I caught him with a good overhand. I put him out. He went out. And my coach got mad at me. I told him, "Hey, coach, you told me so. You said that if I punch him in the face and if he gets knocked out, it's not my problem, it's his problem." And then he started getting mad at me, and I got into a fight with this coach. I've had a lot of coaches over the years, and some of them are like, I fought with them because they're idiots sometimes. And then I left this gym, but after a while, we sorted out our problems. He was like, "Come back to the gym. It's all right." We put our differences behind. We started again. I went back to the gym after a couple months. What coronavirus hit again? They closed the gym for like a month, so I couldn't train. I was just running, lifting weights. What I have in my room. I was doing great, and they opened the gyms back up. And I went back. I had two coaches. One of them left, and the other guy, who was the head coach, he was telling that he had some sort of family issues. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. That he couldn't come and train with us, so he left. And guess who's acting like a coach right now? Guess who's acting like a coach? The gym bully, the guy who I knocked out. Now he's got a grudge against me. He hates me. He was like telling me to do stuff that will hurt me, right? I would tell him, "Hey man, I can't. I just started back again. I should start slow." He was like, "No, you're doing it." And he was the coach. The head coach said that he is the coach for when he's gone. And we started training. And one session I told him, "Hey man, you seen these fucking low calf kicks? They're changing the MMA game." And he was like, "Yeah, man, this is bad. Like, it's so fucking bad." And he was like, "Hey,
I
can
was just
you?"
the injury, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
he
the
gave
injury part. That's the
You said
injury
that on the
part.
podcast before.
Yeah, I think so. But listen, this happens, right? He was like, "Hey, I hit you with a calf kick. You hit me with a calf kick." I'm like, "Dude, it's bad. If I hit the shin, or if you hit the shin, it's gonna break your leg. It's not good. Forget about it." He was like, "No, I'm not gonna check it." I was like, "All right." He said, "I go first." He kicked me, and it hurt bad. I didn't check the kick. I kicked him, and he checked the kick. I broke my leg. I got stress fractures. I left the gym, and as I was going out, I felt my leg. I felt the cracks. I packed my stuff. I was like, I'm never coming back to this fucking gym again. I am never coming back to this gym again. As I was walking out, I shouted a lot of fucking bullshit. I said a lot of shit. I got on my motorcycle. I went home. I didn't tell anybody until, you know, after I found out that it was actually stress fractures. I changed. I healed up. I changed the gym again. I went to another city, which is like an hour away. I have to get in a boat, and a boat takes about an hour to get there. And it's a long story. I don't want to get into details. We don't have a lot of time. I go to this gym. The coaches are amazing. The kids over there, they're amazing, right? I mean, the kids there, like I told them I want to be a UFC fighter. They were like, "That's really cool. You should train harder." And the coaches were like, "You should train harder." And I told them about my situation. They were like, "Don't worry, this stuff is not gonna happen here." And we started training. And coaches, I love my new coaches, man. And my coach was like, "Hey, we gotta fight." Yeah, this guy, he, his fight fell out. You got 2 weeks. You want to fight? I'm like, yeah, sure. Who am I fighting? Who am I fighting? The gym bully from my old gym. I signed the contract and we get to fight. I told you. I remember I told you. And a couple of days after, he pulls out because he said that he's got a knee injury. But we all know that. I know my coaches know that it was a weight issue. He was too heavy. But I was like, Coach, what do you want me to do? He was like, I'll find you a fight, but it will be at heavyweight. I'm like, whatever. I checked my weight. I was around 206. He was like, get to 210, 215. I got to 210. I got a fight. It's Friday. I go in there and I'm fighting. This guy comes on my opponent. We do the face off before the fight. Um, we get to the we get to the ring. It's a ring. It's not a cage. It's a ring. It says 3 3-minute rounds, amateur rounds. We put and I'm an amateur, right? Because I signed my amateur license, and they were like, "All right, you're an amateur now. You fight with a headgear, with a shin guard, with puffy gloves. You don't you don't throw elbows, you don't throw knees, and that's it. That's Those are the amateur rules." And I was like, "All right, cool." And I walk into the ring. I put my headgear on, and the ref is like, "Take it off." I'm like, "Why? I'm an amateur." He's like, "Take it off." I'm like, why? Why would I take it off? Why should I take it off? He's like, "Dude." He's like, "Bro, you gotta take it off." I'm like, "Why? I'm an amateur." And my opponent comes in. He's like 6 feet 6'5", and I knew about it. I didn't give a shit about it. And he's not wearing a headgear. I'm like, "Dude, I should wear a headgear. I'm an amateur." He's an amateur too. He was like, "No, take it off." My coach started arguing with the ref, and he was like, "No, you have to take it off. You cannot go in there with a headgear." I'm like, "Why?" He was like, "Just take it off." I went to take off my shirt. He was like, "No, keep your shirt on." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Keep your shirt on." I was like, "Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go in there, knock this guy out, get whatever they're gonna give me, a golden medal, a gold belt. I don't care. I just want to knock this dude out." I go in there the first round. I start with a front kick to send him backwards. He goes backwards, and I'm putting pressure on him. I'm doing great. I backed up. You remember this the combination that Maury Masvidal knocked out Darren Till with? He's went southpaw and banged him with a left hand. You remember that?
Yeah.
So I do that, and I hit him, and he wobbles. He wobbled around. He was wobbling all over the place, and I went to finish the round. Ends. Unfortunately, second round starts. I'm again. I started a fight with a spinning back kick just to make him, go backwards. I'm pressuring him again. Now I'm throwing the combination that Michael Chandler got Dan Hooker with. I'm going to the body. I'm going to the body. I'm an orthodox. I'm going to the body, and I step southpaw, and I bang. I hit him, and he wobbles again. All right, but he clinched, and I felt like he recovered, so I pushed him away. I hit him with couple other shots. He hit me with a couple of shots, and this was the cleanest punch that he landed. And immediately I started bleeding from my mouth. I was like, this motherfucker, he hits like a fucking truck. He hits like a fucking truck. He kicked me in the body. I caught his leg, and I started punching him in the face. So I threw him punches, and he punched me, and I punched him back, and he punched me, and it hurt my jaw. It was like he was so powerful, Ollie, that I was like, why is this guy so powerful? And he
He,
was big. He was big. Like
he's
he was really big.
naturally a heavyweight.
No, he was not a natural heavyweight. He was a natural super heavyweight. He was 290 pounds, Ollie. I'll get to that in a second. Um, I go for a takedown. I'm going for a sweep. I'm kicking the other leg because I got his leg in the air, and I'm kicking the other leg. And he jumps up. He had good balance, so he wouldn't go down. I'm like, all right, motherfucker, what do you want to do? I pull guard. I go on my back. I pull guard. I throw one hook in for a triangle choke. I go for the other leg, and referee stops the fight. And I was like, maybe the guy tapped to something. Maybe he got injured mid-fight. Maybe his corner threw in the towel. Maybe something happened. Maybe right now I'm gonna get my hand raised. That's what I'm thinking. I got up. I'm like, ref, what happened? He was like, I had to stop it. Like, why? What happened? He was like, I had to stop it. All he said was, I had to stop it. And I think he felt like I was knocked out. And after the fight, he said that I thought you were knocked out. I'm like, dude, I pulled guard. If you don't know what that means, you should go do something else with your life. You're not qualified to be an MMA ref. So this is what happens. He waves off the fight, and I thought I won. I I stand there, and he raised the other dude's hand, and I'm like, "What are you doing? What happened?" He was like, "You were out." I'm like, "I was not out." He was like, "I saw you go to the ground. You were out." I'm like, "Dude, I pulled guard. You don't know what pulling guard means?" He was like, "You went down. You were out." I'm like, "Dude, I was not out." But I was like, "It's all right. We all make mistakes. I live to fight another day." And I shook the guy's hand, and I talked to my coach. He was like, "Yeah, the refs made a mistake. They told the athletic commission about it, and they said that they might overturn it to a no contest." They came over. They took a piss sample for drug test, and um, I took the piss, and I went back to my locker room. The guy was there. I shook his hand again. I went out. I forgot my mouthpiece next to the ring. I went to grab my mouthpiece, and my coach was like, "Come here, come here." I'm like, "What, coach? What happened?" He's like, "Dude, I am so fucking sorry." My coach says, I'm like, What happened?" He goes, "The guy that you just fought, he's a pro. He's a super heavyweight. He's got no business being here. All right, he's got no business being here, and and the referee was shown to be paid off. I had no ref- I had no problems with the referee being paid off, but I had problems with the athletic commission letting this pro guy fight an amateur. And an athletic commission, the guys came up to me, and they were like, "We have no idea that this guy is a pro. He didn't show us his pro license. He faked the weight. We thought he was around 210, 215."
Now,
Um,
if he's 290, you would tell.
I mean, I could tell in the fight he was really tall, and he was jacked. And I thought maybe, like, because looking at heavyweights in the UFC, he was like the same size as Stipe. It was the same size as Stipe. I'm like, maybe he's like 10 pounds over. He was 10 pounds heavier than me. When he punched me, it felt like he was heavier than 265, which is the heavyweight limit. And
Was
I'm
he?
like, I don't.
Wait, so he was powerful, but was he slow?
Kinda. He was really slow. He was slow, but he wasn't. He was slow, like a bit slower than me. I'm still slow because of my weight. I'm overweight. Still, I'm overweight. But he was really slow. I could see his punches coming, but he caught me with a couple of good shots, and I felt like immediately that there's something wrong with this guy. He's either superhuman, or he's got some super punch like Francis Ngannou's super punch. I don't know. And then they said he's too. They get him on the scale. He took all his clothes off, and he was like around 291. And I'm like, guys, what the fuck? And they were like, we have to discuss this with the athletic commission. There's a high chance of this being a no contest. So I come home, I'm leaking, like blood is coming from my nose, from my mouth. My mouth is swollen up like a fucking fish. It was bad. It was really bad. And I don't want to get into it a lot because we don't have a lot of time. And it was overturned to a no contest, my fight. The guy also tested positive for marijuana, which is illegal. You can't smoke marijuana here. If you smoke marijuana, you'll be fined. Not if you're an athlete, and if you smoke marijuana, and if you test positive for it, you will be banned. You will be suspended for 6 months, fined around $10,000, and they take your pro license away. And he was a pro. He faked the license of being an amateur. He came and I fought an amateur. He got his ass beat. I whooped his ass, but referee stopped the fight because he thought that I was out. He was paid off. I mean, listen, I'm alive. I get to fight. I'll fight another day. It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna get my weight down. I will bring this weight down a bit. But who gives a shit? I'll fight. I live to fight another day, and that's it's just an unfortunate thing that happened. Um, I want to thank my coaches. They really helped me with this training camp. They got me ready for a fight that it wasn't two on 2 weeks. On I took it on 2 weeks notice. I wasn't supposed to fight because I was not in shape. I was, in I could fight. I mean, I was fighting, but I was not in shape. My head movement wasn't there like it used to be, like, let's say in 2019 when I was in shape. My hand speed I was really slow. I was really slow. My kicks were like slow. I'm still powerful, but I'm really slow. But I gotta get my weight down. The weight comes down. When the weight comes down, I get a lot faster. I'm still, as the weight is coming down, I can feel my being a little bit faster, but still, I need to get down to 170 pounds. 210, I'm around 210 pounds right now. This is not my natural weight class. I'll get down. I I might fight in the middle of 2022 or early 2023. I don't know. I just gotta get the weight down. But enough talk about me. Ollie, we had great fights this weekend. We're just gonna talk about Bellator main event and UFC's main event. So go on.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, Fedor
oh yeah, Fedor,
Emelianenko.
Fedor. Sorry, my mind's blown by. My mind's gone. I thought Corey just had a fight this week, but that was 2 weeks ago now. All right, Fadum is a god.
Listen, Fedor. I mean, listen. He came in and fought. He fought a great fight. He beat Timothy Johnson, who is a Young was a much younger guy than him. He was heavier than him. But Fedor, my God, when he's on his A game, he is the best in the world. He's the greatest fighter of all time, greatest heavyweight of all time. And listen, when you talk about Fedor, you go back to Pride days, and I was not around the Pride days. I just ordered UFC Fight Pass to go and watch like fights from 1990 something. Watch
What?
Pride's early fights. Yeah, I ordered UFC Fight Pass this morning. They just sent me the email that I can use it right now. Um, I'm gonna go
Wait,
back and
did you get a year or a month?
I got a month.
Yeah, I've got it a
It's
month.
cheaper. It's cheaper to be honest with you. It's cheaper, and I can do a little bit stuff. I cannot talk about it on the podcast, but I can do a little bit stuff too. It works more than a month for me. But I'm not gonna say what it is because it's gonna get me banned. It's gonna get me the ban from everything. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah. So I'm gonna go back and watch a couple old fights because I've watched Fedor and Strikeforce, his Bellator fights, his couple Pride fights, but it wasn't like it wasn't all the fights. Like it was highlights or like the ending, the finishes, or all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, Fedor Emelianenko, when he's on his A game, let's not forget that Fedor is 46 years old. 45, right? 45 or 46. I think he's 46 years old. And, he's knocking out,
Wait,
just
wait,
knocked
wait.
out
Let me get
Timothy
some
Johnson.
information on his age.
He's 45, around 45, 46. I
He's
mean,
45.
listen, my dad is 47. He's like 2 years older than Fedor. My dad is 47, right? And he just I mean, he's always complaining about his body, like his back hurts, his knee hurts, and he's only 47 years old. Fedor, being only 2 years younger, is knocking out guys that are much younger than him, that are much, heavier than him. I mean, Tim Johnson, he was like 36 pounds heavier than Fedor. And Fedor went in there and knocked him out in the first round. He knocked him out with a three-piece and a soda, which was a great fight. I mean, it was a great fight. What do you think about Fedor? What do you think his next move should be? I think he should retire right now. What do you think?
Well, he wants to retire after one more fight.
One more again? Who does he want to fight?
I don't know. I think he's fighting in Russia.
Again?
Yeah, he wants to Russia.
I mean, he should retire. I mean, dude, you're 46 years old. You're not getting any younger. You're not getting any faster. You're not getting any stronger. But listen, if you
He's
can't fight
cool.
this,
He's still.
he still got it. I mean, look at what he did to Tim Johnson. I mean, look at Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva is 46 years old. He beat Julio Cesar. Yeah, sorry. He beat Chavez Jr. He beat Chavez Jr. Anderson Silva did. And I think Fedor should leave MMA behind. I mean, I think he should just retire, man. He
Well,
made money. He made his money. He should retire right now. Fedor, I mean, if he can, it doesn't matter if he goes on a billion fight win streak. He's old, and it's so sad. I mean, when he lost to Ryan Bader, I was like, no, this guy shouldn't fight. He shouldn't fight, but his last fight he proved me wrong. He showed that he can fight, but still, he shouldn't fight anymore. He should retire. I mean, if he wants one more fight, give him one more fight in Russia. Give him a fight that he can win, so he wins in front of his home crowd,
and
hangs them up, and just says goodbye MMA. I'm done. What do you think?
uh, uh,
Uh,
I think one more and then call it because we saw Anderson Silva went for too long. He's still going and boxing.
But boxing is not MMA though. Boxing is not MMA.
Yeah,
Boxing is a much different sport. I
yeah.
mean, if Fedor wants to fight, why don't you go and fight this boxing exhibition fights? Like, go fight guys like I don't know, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's coming back against Logan Paul. I hope he beats the fuck out of Logan. Um, I mean, listen, you can go fight Mike Tyson if you want to. You can go fight Anderson Silva if you want to. You can go fight Logan Paul if you want to. But just don't fight MMA because MMA gloves are smaller. You get punched. It hurt. It's gonna give you more damage. But you know the artificial damage, as Dan Hardy said, is more in MMA. But in boxing, less visible damage is there, but it's more here because boxing is just head and body, but MMA is everywhere. You can use anything. But again, he can go box these legends like Anderson Silva and Fedor. Oh, sorry, Fedor fights Fedor. Uh, Fedor can fight, Mike Tyson. He can fight Vitor Belfort, who's boxing right now. I mean, he can do a lot of things. But just I don't want to see him in an MMA cage again, because it's tough to see a guy like him lose. But and I think him his losing chances are higher in MMA than in boxing. What do you think? Do you think he should go to boxing and get a couple big paychecks before he retires and
I don't.
completely from combat sports?
I don't. I don't. I don't think he'll go to boxing.
I think so. I think he won't go to boxing, but if he does, it's big money for him. It's gonna be big money for him, and there's gonna be a lot of good guys that are there to fight him. I mean, like I said, who doesn't want to see Fedor Emelianenko fight, let's say, Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson is, he's known as the baddest man on the planet. He was the former champion, former heavyweight champion. Fedor is a former heavyweight champion, and I always thought that what happens if Fedor fought Mike Tyson? They both fight each other in their prime. Let's say 6 rounds, 3 rounds boxing, 3 rounds MMA. Let's see what happens. I always thought about that, and everybody would. I would pay to see that. But again, I don't want to see Fedor fight again unless it's an exhibition fight that makes him a lot of money. So Let's move on from Bellator. Let's jump back to our own home soil. UFC. Marvin Vittori versus Paulo Costa. My goodness, that was a great fight, Ollie. That was one of the best fight I've ever seen in these last couple fight cards. Like between these three fight nights, the main event of this one, it was amazing. It was
It's
just
over
amazing.
the Aspen Large. You didn't watch it. Have you watched it after?
Uh, no, I actually did not watch. I watched some highlights, and it was just not worth watching. It was
It's
just not.
so boring. Mackenzie
It was
does.
boring as hell. Listen, I'm a guy who enjoys watching MMA, and listen, I'm such a weird guy. I enjoyed Masvidal Usman 1, which was the clinch fight. The clinch fight.
Yeah, I enjoyed that fight.
I enjoyed it because I love grappling. There's tiny little bit details, the head position, the position of the
Yes.
arm, the way they grab, like those tiny bits. That's good. I like those tiny bits, but the Aspen Ladd fight, I mean, that was boring as hell. Aspen was just there. This
Yeah.
was what Aspen was
She only
doing.
won one round, which was the fifth.
I mean, listen, that's her own personal problem. That's her own problem, and I hope that she comes back. She comes back a better fighter. She comes back and wins the fight. But still, I did not enjoy that fight one bit. I did not enjoy that fight one bit.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch it. I just watched some of her highlights. I was
No.
like completely. I watched like 2, 3 minutes of it, and I was like, "Fuck off! What the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is this, guys?" And I just went at it. I
You want
watched the main event of Vittoria and Costa. That was such a refreshing. Like, I felt such a relief. Like, my God, UFC is back. They finally put on a great fight.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about the main event? What do you think about the weight situation, though? That's the problem that I've been having with, you know, it
I,
doesn't sit well with me. I don't like the fact that Costa didn't even give a shit about the weigh-ins. Didn't even give a shit about his weight. I mean, what do you think about it?
yeah, so unprofessional, but he can't make it 185
Listen,
anymore.
he can't. He can. He just can't. If he can make 185, let's see. Dana can go talk to his team and managers. Listen, I sit around. I gave you guys, let's say 3 weeks. Let's say 5 weeks. You come here. You cut. You don't have to fight. You don't have a fight. You just cut to 185. Show me that you can cut to 185, and then you can fight up 285, 285, 185 again. If show me that you can fight at 185, if you can make the 185 limit, 185 pounds, not 185 and a half, not 186, but 185. If you can do that, I will let you fight at 185. If not, you should fight at 205. And I think Paulo, he can't make middleweight anymore. He just can't. He's too big. I mean, did you see his back in the fight? Did you see his
Yeah.
back? How big it is? That guy is jacked. He is jacked. And I mean, he can make 185. When I saw him the first time I saw him, it was his debut, and I was like, how the fuck is this guy making 185? I don't understand. How the hell is he making 185? But again, listen, if you can't make 185, if you can't prove that he can't make 185, you gotta show it. And
Yeah.
you know, but let's talk about Vittori for a second. My respect for Vittori just went up like this, like a rocket going to space. My respect for Vittori. I've always had respect for Vittori because he's a tough guy. He's got the best. He's got a big chin. His
Not the
chin.
best
He
chin, not the best chin. That will
not.
go to Calvin Cater.
I mean, listen. He took a big head kick from Costa. He
Yeah.
was hurt, but I mean, if you don't pay attention to it, I will watch the replay because I watched this fight billion times and I watched that head kick, specifically that head kick. And if you don't pay attention to it, you can't even notice that he was hurt. You can't even notice unless
Like,
you
he
see
gets
that he's backing up. You can unless you see that he's backing up. I mean, you can't even feel that he wobbled. But again, it was a great fight. I
the only
enjoyed.
time he was hurt badly was round two.
I mean, the head kick hurt him, but it didn't put him away. I mean, let's say Marvin Vittori, what's his record? 18-5-1. He's never been knocked out. He's never been choked out. All his losses came by decision. He's never been submitted. He's never been knocked out. So that means he's a tough guy. But hey, he proved
But
that he's tough.
I need to say something. Saturday night showed how amazing Adesanya is.
Yeah, he showed how amazing Adesanya is.
He
How
is a vet.
amazing.
He first fight. I think, yeah, the first fight. I watched that fight. There, Victoria and Adesanya won a split decision in the
Yeah,
first one, but the second one he dominated.
he
How
dominated. And
did
listen,
not, like you could see the only reason he lost to John, I think, was the weight. Because every time Vittori got him down, he had him in the ring naked choke.
listen, Israel. He is a great grappler for a 185er. Look
Yeah,
at the fight with Brunson. Look at the fight with Brunson. His takedown defense was on point with Brunson.
he nearly
I
choked
guess,
Gastelum at round five with the
yeah,
try.
he nearly had a guillotine there.
Yeah, the
His
try.
takedown defense against Gastelum was on point because they are the same weight. But Jan Blachowicz, but no, I believe Jan Blachowicz is a better fighter than Izzy, to be honest with you. I mean, look at
Yeah,
this striking exchanges. He was doing better. Jan was outstriking him. He was landing better shots. Israel was landing great shots, but it wasn't enough to edge him out in the decision. And the last two rounds, I mean, Jan Blachowicz, he was like around two 225 that night when they were fighting, but Izzy was around 200 pounds. It was around 200, and that's why he Izzy was losing the fight on the feet and on the ground, but the grappling was the key to him winning the fight. To Jan winning the fight, and Jan is a bigger guy. Jan is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Jan is a black belt. You might not notice it, but he's a black belt. And he showed that he's a great grappler, Jan did. And Israel, he's a great striker. He's one of the best striker in the middleweight division. He's the best, he's the greatest striker we've seen after Anderson Silva. He's the best.
oh,
I mean, the way that he's got that head movement. You remember that he was doing the rope dope that he was in the Matrix when Marvin was punching him,
yeah.
was throwing punches at him. I'm like, dude, that was amazing. Israel is he's just the best middleweight right now. We have to see who wins the fight with him and Robert Whitaker.
Now, the Saturday night proved to me that it's going to be a tough night for Whittaker again.
We have to see that. We don't know that for sure.
Come
But
on. Adesanya,
listen,
greatest middleweight right
listen,
now.
I agree with you too. I agree he's the greatest middleweight right now. But listen, Robert Whitaker, he's shown
Yes,
improvement.
they will have a tougher fight. I see it
It's
going.
gonna be a tougher fight for Izzy and Robert. Because listen, and Michael Bisping pointed, I think in his last fight, Bisping pointed it out. In the first fight with Israel, Robert was lunging in, moving in with his shots, and Izzy noticed it, and he moved out of the way and caught him with a good counter shot. But against Gastelum, he was not going in with his strikes. He was clean. He was landing cleaner punches. He was landing better punches.
I've
His
only seen
punches,
Adesanya rock badly once, and that was against Gastelum.
that was against Gastelum, and Jan kind of rocked him twice, but it wasn't as much as the Gastelum fight. Go watch the Jan Blachowicz fight. I think it was the third round or the second round. I remember this quote that John Anik was saying. He was saying Israel, his coach Eugene Berman told Israel Adesanya that this is the round. These are the rounds, and Young caught him with good shots, and he wobbled for a second. But again, he wasn't as rocked as he was in the Gastelum fight. But listen, if they fight once again, which they will, they are fighting. The fight is booked for UFC 270, I believe,
Not
right?
booked. I don't get where you're getting this from. It's not booked.
It's not booked.
No, it's targeted.
It's targeted for 271, I think.
Yeah.
271 or 270. Listen, if they fight, I believe it's gonna be a great fight. I believe it's gonna be a technical match. It's not gonna be a banger, like let's say, um, uh, the Gastelum fight. It's gonna be a technical fight. It's gonna be more like the Jan Blachowicz fight. It's gonna be technical. They're gonna be each of them. They're gonna be throwing maybe like 10 strikes in each round. But it's gonna be a technical kickboxing match, and I believe if Whitaker utilizes his wrestling, but let's look. Whitaker's wrestling, his grappling, it's not to grab and hold. He's a grab. He can't grapple. He doesn't just grab and hold. He grapples. He changes positions. He changes, the positions. He moves from he can do the rolls. He can do all of that stuff. And that's the factor in this fight with Adesanya. But listen, we were talking about the Costa and Vittori fight, and Listen, it just like you said, it just shows that how great Israel Adesanya is. I mean, look at Paulo Costa. Look at how many body kicks he threw at Marvin Vettori. Look. Those body kicks would hurt anyone. It will hurt like guys that like let's say Robert Whitaker is no Paulo Costa is hitting me with those body shots. I would I would just go down. Those body shots, they will drop anyone. But again, Marvin is a tough dude. He's never been finished. He showed how tough he is. He showed that he's a better fighter than Paulo Costa. He showed that he's a professional and he doesn't care about the weight. He just wants to fight. And my respect for Marvin Vittori, it just went up like a rocket ship. Uh, I don't know about you, but I think Marvin Vittori, if he gets 2 or 3 more wins, he will get a trilogy with Israel if he's the champion, or he will get a match. He will get a title shot after 2 or 3 more wins. What do you think,
Who?
Marvin? If he
Two or
gets
three
two,
more. I'm saying 1 or 2.
listen. If he listen, I think he should fight the winner of Brunson versus Cannonier, and after he
But
fights the winner of that,
Dana said that they're fighting the winner that will fight for the belt.
the winner of that fight for the belt, so he fights the loser of the belt, that fight. And then he fights the loser of Adesanya versus Whitaker, right? Then he fights the loser of whoever fought for the title. Let's say, let's say Jared Cannonier becomes the champion, right? He needs to fight the loser of whoever Jared Cannonier fought, which I don't know who it's gonna be by then, and then he fights Jared Cannonier if he's the champion. But I don't think so. I think if Izzy wins the fight, Marvin will fight the loser of Brunson Cannonier. Then he will fight the loser of Adesanya versus Whitaker. Then he will fight the loser of, let's say, whoever gets the title fight, whoever fights for the title after Whitaker and
All right.
Adesanya.
I
And then he fights for the title.
All right. To end the podcast, can I
Yeah.
give you some rapid fire predictions?
Yeah. Let's go. Hit me.
All right. Let me get them up. Hang on. Right. Oh, fuck. I put the wrong person in. No, I just did it very loud. I'm going to say that on here.
All right. I'm just gonna check my phone. I'm
All
gonna
right.
set up. All right,
Who
go on.
Josh Emmett or Dan Eag?
It's a really tough fight. It's gonna be a banger, but I think Josh Emmett gets it done.
Thanks, me. Decision. Definitely decision.
Yeah, it's gonna be a banger. Nobody's getting knocked out.
Well, we know this fight was going to happen December, but that Rodriguez had to pull out. So if Neil Magny fought Daniel Rodriguez, who've you got?
Daniel Rodriguez.
I don't know. It's a banger.
It's a banger because Daniel Rodriguez, he's a dog. He's got great boxing. He's got great takedown defense, and Magny's a grappler. If he can defend the takedown and outbox him, he gets a decision, or he can knock him out. All right, hit me. What do you got?
So we have Brian Battle coming back against Gore.
Tresean Gore. Yeah, I see. Brian Battle getting it done.
Yes, but people are telling me don't sleep on this Gore.
Yeah, don't sleep on Gore, but Brian Battle gets it done.
Okay.
Again, what do you have?
Oh, I'm pretty. So So next card, we see it's on the fight Petrovsky's fighting on.
Petrovsky. You talking about the Andre Petrovsky fight? The coming fight?
Yeah, so this week, Saturday.
I think he gets it done. His opponent is not that high level. He is 0-2 in the UFC. He's 3-2 overall. He's not. Andre's gonna beat him.
Really?
Yeah. What do you have? Anything else?
Yes, of course I do. So shit. All right. So we see the return of Hamzat Chimaev Saturday.
All right.
Who have you got on that one?
Well, it's a bit complicated, to be honest with you. I don't know how his cardio situation is gonna be with the whole after COVID effect. I don't know how his cardio is gonna be. But what I do know is he's got knockout power,
Yes.
and the leech he's also got knockout power. So
Yeah.
I think whoever lands the first big shot goes out. The other guy goes out. Whoever lands the first big shot wins.
I can't wait for this fight. What? Oh, I can't wait for this one. It's 2 weeks away. Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler.
Oh shit! Listen,
Hit me with it.
I think Michael Chandler gets it done with his wrestling.
Nah, chief.
I think. Listen, Michael Chandler. He's a high level wrestler. He's got the takedown, and Justin Gaethje. He might be a former D1 champion. He might be like his wrestling record is 110 wins and 9 losses. But that was not what we saw against Khabib. And Michael Chandler's wrestling is gonna be a factor. And his hands, he's gonna use the hands. He's gonna use the wrestling to open up the hands, and then he's gonna knock out Justin Gaethje in the second round.
I've got Justin Gaethje. No doubt in my mind. Gaethje hits so hard.
He hits hard. Michael Chandler, he shouldn't get hit clean. If Michael Chandler gets hit clean, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble.
I see Gaethje getting it done late round 2 or early round 3. I see him utilising the legs to take the steam out of Chandler's punches. But what you have to look out for when he throws a leg kick, Chandler can just grab his
counter.
Leg,
exactly.
Like Usman was doing to Masvidal in the first.
Like I did my last fight Friday. You know, the guy was throwing leg kicks, and I would counter him with, a cross, a jab, something. He was throwing leg kicks, and I would counter. I would check the kick, and I would counter with something.
Yeah.
So when he goes for a kick, that's when Michael Chandler's got that opening. Either land a big shot or go for a takedown.
Yeah,
I see Michael Chandler winning. I don't know about Gaethje.
It's definitely a 50-50.
It's a 50-50 fight. That's why I love it. That's why I love it. All right.
I read
anything else?
Earlier about saying this one is so hyped just to be the next Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis.
What? What did you say? I couldn't hear you.
So, what happens if it's the next Derek Lewis or Francis Ngannou?
Derek Lewis fights Francis Ngannou if they fight again?
No. Oh my God.
What are you saying? I don't know what you're saying.
What happens if Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler is...
all right. I get it. It could be. There's a chances of that being a boring fight. There are chances, but I don't think so. Both men are saying that they're gonna just go out there and beat the crap out of each other. You can't, take it serious because they're fighters and they don't want to lose. But again, there are chances of that being like Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou fight.
All right, last prediction. Actually,
Hit
Yeah,
me.
I know you told me last night, but Islam Makitic versus Dan Hooker.
Well, listen, guys. It's gonna get a little bit weird. If you go back and watch our episode with Sam that we did with Sam Alvey, when Sam leaves, I tell you about a dream that I had about McGregor snapping his leg. I don't want to explain it because I gotta go right now. But I tell you, listen, I had a dream again, like one of those weird dreams. I think Dan Hooker hits is like the first round. I could hear the commentary, and this is what I remember. This listen, it's a dream, but you can't go 100% with it. But what happened with the McGregor fight? I I'm listening to it. I'm like, all right, what hit me with what you got. I'm listening, and what I remember is it's the first round, the first two rounds. The first round goes to Malkachev. The second round is close. The third round, Malkachev gets tired for wrestling so much. Dan Hooker hits him with a lot of big shots. He's gonna hit him with a lot of big knees, and it's gonna be a late stoppage. I don't know why. I just got this feeling. I had this dream because I
You
remember.
have these weird those dreams.
Yeah, like it
Like
comes
I've only
true.
had one. I was telling you, just before Ortega Falkov, I was saying I had a dream Ortega submitted him in round 3, and he nearly did. But I said triangle choke, and he locked one in. I was like, "Yep, I'm a genius." When he locked it in,
You remember because I told you I was specifically giving the predictions before the UFC 264 fight. I
yeah,
was saying McGregor wins by a submission, and he went for a submission because
Nick got it.
because in one of my
Just
dreams I
cheating,
saw that McGregor won by submission,
just
and
a, just a
you know
cheat to get out of that.
listen, we wouldn't want to get into that later. We get into that later, next episode. But listen, we gotta go, so I gotta tell you this quickly, and I gotta wrap this up. And so this is what happened. I could hear John Anik saying, first round Makachev, second round is close, but Dan Hooker is dominating the third round. So we don't know what's gonna happen. That's what John Anik was saying, and I was seeing like Islam Makachev was getting hit in the face clean with Dan Hooker's right knee, which is a nuclear bomb. He was getting hit, and it was a really late stoppage. And I was in my dream, I was saying, "Stop the fight! Stop the fight! Stop the fight!" And they finally stopped the fight, and everybody was going nuts. The commentator was screaming, the people were screaming, everybody was cheering. Dan Hooker was jumping all around. Islam Makhachev was just shaking his head in disappointment. Listen, if this happens, I'm gonna call myself Jesus from now on. If this happens, I'm gonna call myself Jesus.
I better have a dream like that again.
If it
But
happens, listen, Ollie. If it happens from now, if it happens, you have to call me Jesus.
yeah, I'm still picking Islam. But if you get this, I will. Every time you tell me you have a dream, I'll listen to you because I think Islam gets it done.
Listen, you can't go against Islam, but listen. On verdict, I'm going with Islam. But if he
Not
gets
for
it done, if if Dan Hooker gets it done, no, before it got fucked up, I I did I did it. I think I did it, and I went with Makachev.
Do you want me to check for you?
I think I did it.
Um.
I'm getting a lot of emails. I don't know who it is.
Oh,
Getting a lot of emails.
oh shit! They've added. Oh yeah, Shane Burgos is fighting on that card. I forgot.
Dude, I ordered Amazon Prime Video,
Wait, so
Amazon Prime. I ordered Netflix, and I ordered what's the other guy? Disney Plus. I got my Disney Plus, my Amazon Prime, and my Netflix is not coming. My Fight Pass, they just emailed me that it's ready, but the other two, it's not coming. I don't know why. I ordered it like this morning and it's not coming. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
you didn't predict anything for that card.
I didn't, so I gotta fix my verdict and do it again. But I think Islam Makachev can get it done. But if Dan Hooker gets it done, I'm not gonna be surprised. So, Ollie, let's wrap this up. I gotta go. My dad's going crazy. We're going out tonight. We're having a little bit of family picnic. Um, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's awesome. It's awesome talking to you, Ollie.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see you guys next episode where Ollie's gonna bring out a camera, hopefully. Yeah. Ollie, do your thing. Say bye bye. Stop the recording.
All right. See ya. Yes. Oh, I can't say that. All right. See ya.